back in 2019 November, right? Because originally we were putting out an EP, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do a couple songs here. What do we want the album to be? We had an album cover designed. We had a title designed. The title that I suggested a couple titles. We kind of went back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And we ultimately decided on Moral Collapse.
Yeah.
Right? And, we had a whole theme for it. And, it was mainly, what would you say it was mainly about? When you define Moral Collapse.
I think it was more of like kind of like an emotional moral collapse, with the lyrical content of a lot of these songs still is kind of like an emotional kind of downfall. It's like your own moral collapse, and that's kind of what I think we were really going for.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it collapsed.
Yeah, and then the world collapsed.
It really hit us, I think, in end of March. I think when we couldn't really get together, we weren't leaving, and when we started talking about the album and the EP that we were planning on releasing, like, holy crap, we just named this album Moral Collapse.
Yeah.
And literally, it wasn't just COVID, there was a lot of other events going on that were just insane, in the world that, just you didn't want to turn on the news, you didn't want to go outside really, you're just kind of like, what's going on,
Yeah.
It's been quite a ride, but I think it's so important that we know that we named this album before all this stuff happened. I think it's just a cool coincidence. So whenever we see the title track, wherever we see the album and everything, it's like, it's cool for us to remember, like, we talked about this, pre-pandemic, which is what we're going to call it now, just pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandy.
And, so...
another cool thing about that is that the title track was not written. There was no title track for that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I was planning on writing one, because I liked the idea of having a title that we didn't necessarily have a song named after it, but it just meant, it explained the album still. But after all of this happened, I was like, I have to write a song about this, and it's not. I tried to incorporate every part of the moral collapse, from emotional to what is going on in the world to not choosing a specific side, and just we're in this crazy ride whirlwind together.
Yeah, right.
So let's hang on tight and go for it.
Buckle up, man.
Yeah, buckle up.
And that's just, I just love that story, because in 5, 10, 15 years, when I'm looking at the album, or listening to it, I'll just remember. One thing I want you guys to get from this album, obviously, I want you to get something out of it that's personal to you, right? All these songs they're applicable and relatable to many different people on many different levels, right? And you'll be the one to say this, right? It's not like you wrote this album and you want to think about this. It's whatever pertains to you, and relatable to you, right? And when it comes to, the album, I want to be able to look back in 5, 10 years or so and be like, I remember exactly how I was feeling in 2020, right? And I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that on this record. And you're just going to listen to the album, you're going to realize it's going to take you right back to this year.
Yep.
At least for me personally, I'll be like,
absolutely.
I remember exactly where I was, how everything was going on around the world, and just the state of everything, and being able to put an album out during this time, very, very happy about that.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm grateful, dude, because, if I don't know what would have happened if we wouldn't have been able to write this record.
There's a lot of things I think about, right? Like, what if we didn't put out the music video, like we talked about? What if we didn't find Topher before?
Yeah.
What if we didn't have a pandemic? Would we be playing shows, like, every weekend?
Yeah.
Would we be burnt out? Who knows?
Exactly.
Like, there's just so many things where you're like, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But, I obviously am a firm believer of everything happens for a reason, and I think this was an opportunity for us, maybe that we weren't planning on, but it was an opportunity for us to write a full length. And be like, you know what? We got the creativity, we got the guys in the band that can come together and actually put out, quality music, write some cool songs. And I love that about this album too, is I think there's a variety of
genres.
Genres, yeah.
This record is a is a journey to say the least.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I love so much about it, because you'll be listening to one song and you'll be like, oh, okay, I think these guys are metalcore, and then the next song is like, oh, well, okay, that's not quite metalcore.
Right.
You know, we have a really good mix, I think, of in your face, just heavy as, you know, just super heavy, and then we've got catchy big choruses, and we've got some, you know, really dark elements in there. We've got some, we just got really melodic stuff. It's just a really up and down. Once you, I think it's like once when you're listening to the album, once you think you finally get us, the next track comes on and kind of slaps you in the face, and it's different, and that's what I love. There's
definitely some parts in there that I'm really excited to share. Just
I'm
not something that you would expect, right?
In
especially our kind of music. But when people ask us, like, what is our sound? It's always kind of hard to define that, right? I mean, I guess you'll have to see when you listen to the album, but...
Yeah, I like to ask other people, I don't know, what is our sound, you know, because...
Yeah.
I just say I like to say we're a metal band. And then some people are like, what kind of metal band? You know, they always want to know what kind of metal. I'll just say yes. Yes.
All the above. All the above. I mean, it's metal, and then every song, like we talked about, has a different characteristic to it. So there's some elements of, you know, thrash. There's some elements of, you know, really all.
There's even a little bit. There's even some beat down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some part, it's
absolutely.
Like we just really went and just as far expanded as we could, I think.
Some from my hardcore roots of metal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. I really do. I think, especially the first time around, you know, putting out a first time, trying to sit down and put out a full length, and we put a lot of work into it, man.
So much work. A lot of work. I'm very appreciative of all the guys in the band, especially that put in all the work. I'm very appreciative of everyone.
Absolutely. Balancing life and getting a band going and going out and playing shows and recording, and we figured out that it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a full-time job, and by that I don't mean a 9 to 5. I mean like you don't have a clock out time.
Yeah.
You really don't.
You wake up and I mean it's true. I wake up and I'm working on the band.
Yeah.
I wake up and I start, you know, whether it's submitting our songs for playlists or I'm researching whatever it is. The second I wake up, before I even do my routines. Mm-hmm. So it's a full-time job, but
full-time job with not much pay.
Yeah. By not much he means none. We actually are paying. I guess I tried to make these lyrics just as relatable as possible, so even if I'm screaming my head off, you can still relate to what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You can still get something out of it.
Absolutely.
So hopefully you guys can get something good out of it. We'll find out.
And you can figure that out by, again,
PreSaving. Link in the description or in the bio or over there or down there or up there.
Real quick, let's touch on this before we wrap this up. Why that's important, because I think people don't understand why pre-saving an album for a band that's just getting started and starting to do all these things, you know, how does that help us, you know? Let's kind of talk about that real quick.
Yeah. So pre-saves are a lot more important than people, I think, realize. The more pre-saves a band gets, the day that... So I'll give you... Let's say you get 50 pre-saves. The day that song or album drops, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming service it is, recognizes 50 people got that right then. So the algorithm kind of goes, oh, who is this? That's how you get on playlists, which playlists reaches your music to more people. You get more followers, so you get more engagement, which is what we would love to do. I mean, we'd love to tour and make a career out of this. Love for as many people as humanly possible to hear this music. That's why we do it. So it's just, if you get the more pre-saves, the higher the number, the more likely it is for Spotify and Apple Music to go, oh, whoa, who is this? What is this band that just dropped and screwed up our algorithm? Because 500 people got it the second it went out.
Right.
So that's what it really does. It's like the second it goes out, it tells all of those algorithms, look over here for a second.
Right.
Look over here for a second.
Check
instead
this
of
out. Yeah.
look over, check this out. And it just greatly helps. We would love to, like I said before, just expand and have anybody who wants to listen can and will.
Absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, if you guys did that or do that, that would really, really help us out. Anything you want to conclude with as far as the album release?
I think
It doesn't really feel real.
Yeah, it feels surreal. Like after
It's been a goal for so long.
all of the stress and anxiety attacks, man.
All the phone calls.
All the phone calls.
Rich is my number one contact, by the way.
I may be annoying. Okay, I may be a little bit bossy at times. I'm just passionate.
Very passionate.
And I want things to.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Anything to add?
I think I'm good, man. I'm just thank you for all of the support. It drives us to continue to do this. I truly hope you pre-save, and I truly hope you like it. And please let us know what you think. And I can't wait to play shows for you all again.
When is that gonna be, man?
I don't even know. Like I'm scared to even put it out there.
Yeah, you know what? We're focusing on album release.
I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Beartooth for doing that drive-in
That's
show.
cool, yeah.
Because that I feel like might be
the
changing the
thing we do.
game.
That's insane,
you know what I mean?
man.
Like that was really really cool.
That is cool.
But
yeah,
pre-save cool. Moral Collapse coming out Friday, November 13th. Baby.
Heck yeah, cool. Thanks guys for listening. Thanks for even being interested in our album release in this band. It really helps us out. We know there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things you could be watching, a lot of things that are going on in the world. That
a lot of pretty other guys that you could be looking at.
That's true. But helping out the rest of the guys in the band, myself, Rich, pre-saving the link, and listen to the album. Giving us your honest feedback too. Send us a message on Instagram if you're not following us there already. Send us a message. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Let us know what you think, what your favorite track is, and why. Share it with your friends, your family, or whatever. I don't care who you share it with.
Post it to your Facebooks and
if you post it, we'll repost it.
Whatever it is.
We'll repost it, absolutely. So, yeah, any exposure obviously helps us out, but we also would love your feedback because we're listening. We want people to actually, check out our stuff. And again, this was quite a bit of work. So
this was a lot of work.
Yeah.
We have merch on our website. If you go to suffocatinglie.com, you can go to our merchandise section and just click that little shop here button, and it'll take you to our site. We are expanding and getting some more items, so just look out for that.
Till then, we'll see you on November 13th.